century.
Okay, Karnika Seth, inoperable is the word that Professor Madhav Nalapad has used. Is there going to be a college department dedicated to tracking thousands of students and perhaps tens of thousands of online posts, or it becomes picky choosy? The kind of posts that they don't like, they say, okay, we're going to expel you, we're going to rusticate you because, well, we warned you not to mention the college anyway.
Well, I think it's within the prerogative of a college to lay down the code of ethics which students must follow, and I completely agree with that to that extent. However, when it comes to what is defamatory and what is not, and what you could consider as illegal or what would you consider as a breach of the policy or not, is something which is also subjective to some extent unless you lay down objective guidelines. Now, what authority would be deciding this within the college? Is that going to be an objective opinion or not is a crucial issue.
Okay.
Also, whether we can curtail the freedom of speech of children to that, or the students to that extent.
Yeah, they're not children anymore. They're
not children anymore.
Some psychologist is joining us on this broadcast to get a different perspective into this entire episode. Sameer Malhotra, can a university or a college, not a school, this is a university or college teaching adults, make a case that the social media distracts from the application a student puts into a college, and hence we have a case to bar our students from using?
See, the issue here is different. I mean, one needs to look at it very closely and understand as to why this mistrust is happening amongst the student community towards a particular college. That's the first thing. And has the college taken appropriate steps to build that hope and to re-establish that trust of the students in itself? That's the second thing. Like one of the panelists has just pointed out, that there is always a code of ethics and a code of conduct which is quite objectively laid down as the guiding principle of any institution. I think as students we have to also abide by those principles, but at the same time, wherever the issue comes up, wherever there is any kind of a rift, or wherever we feel that certain demands and requisite demands are not being met, then perhaps there is an addressal system which has to be appropriately channelized, utilized and appropriately dealt with.
Okay, Professor Madhav Nalapad, should the answer be the opposite? Should the staff and students, as well as the community principals, the chancellors of this university, actually be getting more on the social media space to have this more open interaction with their students and their concerns? The Delhi police can do it, the traffic police can do it, the governments in various states are doing exactly the same thing. Why college and universities?
Rishabh, let me point out the objective of an education. The objective of an education is to enable minds to become cutting edge. Let me remind you that more than 90% of new technologies originate in Western countries that are very liberal in their approach to students. 10% or less originate in other countries. Now, example is Saudi Arabia or Somalia, where you have the kind of curbs on free speech. There's absolutely no innovation at all. So I have to ask, is St. Xavier's College not wanting colleges and universities to reach the level of Western societies which are highly technologically advanced, or do they want to go to the Somalia and Saudi Arabia model?
Yeah, where is
we are in the 21st century.
Where is
we have to accommodate rules, laws, conventions in accordance with the modernity of the 21st century.
No, we cannot escape the fact that the technology is here today and it is here to stay. We cannot, escape from this particular fact. And in fact, innovation, the way creativity and innovation is encouraged through this medium, it has been through none other mediums. So I feel that one must utilize it to the best of potentials rather than curbing or restricting anybody's right to be on social media.
Let me play devil's advocate, Sameer Malhotra. But what does the university do when a group of students or particular individuals go onto the social media space where there is a more freedom because it is so much easier to access, to put out a tweet than perhaps write a note to your principal, and they critique teachers, perhaps even get abusive, they slam the institution? How do you then control that if you're a university? Do they have a legitimate concern there?
See, the first thing which comes to the fore with all this information that I'm getting through you is that, one, there has been a breach of trust somewhere. So if the students trust, or a group of students are losing trust in the management system, there has to be a dialogue, and that dialogue has to be conducted within certain guidelines and within some kind of framework. And once that issue of trust is built up, I think many issues would stand resolved rather than engaging in a blame game, because if we are using the social media only to engage in a blame game, then nothing constructive is going to come out of it. So what is important is basically to understand where this issue is arising from and what can the college authorities do in order to build that trust and to build that rapport amongst the students and that trust towards the college in the minds of the students.
I would also advocate that they should have, there should be some workshops for cyber awareness in the college itself. I'm not aware whether St. Xavier's has had one, but I think in each college today, this is the, I would say, the requirement.
Cyber awareness, for
it
who
is
and define that?
cyber awareness
for the students,
for the
be
academicians.
careful. Don't be bad mouthing your teachers in a public environment like this. That's also not ethical.
It's both ways. It's the teachers, it's the faculty, it's the I would say the staff. Also, likewise, the students, they all need to be made aware of what are the benefits, what are the disadvantages, and how this can be utilized, can be misutilized, and what should be done and what should not be done. That is the only way of reaching a sound consensus.
Professor Madhav Nalpat, I'm running out of time. I'll leave the last word with you, sir. We've seen this notification, and several students we've spoken to have a fear of persecution because you don't know what an interpretation of what includes attacking or naming an institution means. So if you innocuously put something on and you face suspension, how do you protect a student from that?
Rishabh, you don't cure a headache by chopping off the head. You don't have a complete prohibition on any kind of speech relating to the institution you are studying in. The reality is, if a student gets abusive beyond safe limits, the college has the right to rusticate that student. The college has the right to take disciplinary action against that student. The college can do so. But to completely ban any comment, to completely stop any free expression of views is completely draconian. It's, I repeat, it's like chopping off the head to cure a headache.
Okay. Before I let this go, Karnika said, what recourse do students have then?
Well, if this is completely banned, I mean, they can actually go and file a writ petition. I mean, it's like, basically banning their rights of even speaking anything they want to. So it's something that they can immediately take a legal recourse.
It can be challenged if somebody wants to challenge it. That of course is left to the students. Karnika Seth, Dr. Malhotra, as well as Professor Madhav Nalpat, thanks very much for joining us. Let's move on with